Wars have winners and losers. There is no win-win. If the Iranian regime stays in power, they win. And as we look at it right now, the president's off-ramp would leave the regime, the Islamic Revolution, in power, and he appears okay with that if it allows him to declare victory with a deal. He's looking for an exit ramp and wants a deal badly. In fact, he once again claimed victory today.
You know, I don't like to say this. We've won this. This war has been won. The only one that likes to keep it going is the fake news.
As we've said over and over on this show, the way the U.S. military has performed is nothing short of extraordinary. The question would be, why quit now? Today, President Trump announced that the Iranians are giving him, in his words, presents, a signal he says that he's finally dealing with the right people.
They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. And it was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money. And I'm not going to tell you what that present is, but it was a very significant prize. And they gave it to us, and they said they were going to give it. So that meant one thing to me: we're dealing with the right people.
Is that nuclear related?
No, it wasn't nuclear related. It was oil and gas related.
Anybody who has bought a Persian rug or tried to negotiate for a Persian rug knows the Iranians do not give free presents. And this comes at a time when we are winning. The military is very close to breaking the Iranians' back. But Trump is enamored with the prospect of a deal, despite a very simple truth. My dad taught this to me a long time ago. It was reinforced by my time in the Middle East. You can't have a good deal with bad people. Certainly not with bad people who now know they can blackmail you with closing the Strait of Hormuz. Never thought I would say this, but Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is outlining the tactic Trump should take.
We see ourselves as part of this negotiation as well. We negotiate with bombs. You have a choice as we loiter over the top of Tehran, as the president talked about your future. The president has made it clear that you will not have a nuclear weapon. The War Department agrees. Our job is to ensure that.
Ensuring it requires more than the Iranians promising it. There is still a chance Trump will pick the stick approach over carrots. President Trump sending the 82nd Airborne to the Middle East, so he is negotiating from a position of military strength. That is the only thing the Iranians understand. Iran right now believes they have the upper hand economically. That is a problem. So the president's shift from unconditional surrender to a potential deal comes as the regime has given Trump a promise that means absolutely nothing.
And they're not going to have a nuclear weapon, and we're talking about that. And I don't want to say in advance, but they've agreed they will never have a nuclear weapon. They've agreed to that.
Just because you agree to something doesn't make it true. The Iranians have agreed for 2 decades they would not have a nuclear weapon. Think about it this way. It is like a child covered with chocolate icing from head to toe, swearing up and down they didn't eat the birthday cake. For years, the Iranians promised they would never have a nuclear weapon and then built nuclear enrichment facilities hundreds of feet deep in the mountains. And that is where the uranium is right now that allegedly the Iranians are going to turn over. The thing is, the Iranians have lied over and over. The Iranians will never, ever give up their uranium stockpile. So maybe that means President Trump won't make the deal. That would be a good thing. And we've been down this road before. 10 months ago, the Israelis wanted to finish the job in Iran. But Iran manipulated Trump. They gave him an easy victory. They made all sorts of promises. And as we predicted, they broke them all. Israeli media reports the United States and Israel has given immunity to at least 2 members of the regime during these negotiations, the foreign minister and the speaker of the parliament. Perhaps that's who President Trump is claiming is the new regime.
We killed all their leadership, and then they met to choose new leaders, and we killed all of them. And now we have a new group, and we can easily do that, but let's see how they turn out. We have really regime change. You know, this is a change in the regime because the leaders are all very different than the ones that we started off with that created all those problems. So this was, I think we can say, Jason, this is regime change, right?
Considering the Speaker of the Parliament is the guy who led chants of death to America every time the Parliament met, the exact intentions of the new old or old new regime are, shall we say, suspect. Let's zoom out and look at this from the Iranians' perspective. The Islamic Revolution lives on. If they can still chant death to America in the streets, the Iranian regime wins. Wars have winners and losers. You can decide who the loser will end up being.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.